Hey everyone. Okay, so in typical Oda fashion, the moment the man makes his return, he sets the stage perfectly for this chapter. Just within the first page alone, we see brand new full body and Django standing in front of two worn out battleships with massive indents in their hulls, which is where brand new makes the reveal that it was Garp and Aokiji using them as punching bags is the thing that caused those indents. And that, again, that was all we needed to know to set the tone for what was to come next. It's obviously the whole thing with the battleships. It's another notch in Garp's belt, showing even in his old age, man is still a fucking monster. Even if he's not as maybe quick as he used to be, as proven with the events that follow with him fighting off everyone, but also getting stabbed by Shiryu. But even more so than that, I also appreciate how this chapter is sort of a celebration of Garp's legacy, as he's fighting alongside the current crop of Marines he's personally trained, while also being forced to fight the person he considers to be his best pupil, Kuzan. And getting to see the backstory of how that happened, how he came to be Garp's apprentice, I really like how well this aligns with a lot of what Kuzan had told Luffy about being indebted to his grandfather, because this chapter reveals just how much that statement is to be true. Like, I don't think it's an understatement to say that if it wasn't for Garp, I don't think Kuzan would be the man he is today, both in body and in spirit. It's because of Garp that Kuzan is not only as strong as he is, but it's also thanks to Garp that is what basically helped form, form the Prince core of what Kuzan believes and what believes back then, today, and probably even now, because this chapter definitely gave me the vibe more that even that what probably started as a simple undercover op became something much more like whatever Kuzan's discovered. But by being with the Blackbeard pirates, it made him realize he's in too deep, but he has to see it through to the end. And I think he just doesn't want to get anyone else mixed up in that mess, especially Garp, the man who molded him into who he is today, and the man he respects the most for just giving him the time of day to teach him all that he knows. Which, side note, I did love how when Aokiji first approached Garp's first reaction was just to tell him to fuck off. He's not interested in training anyone. Like, again, just little touches like that. And but even more so than just from the Aokiji side of things, I think one interesting thing about this is at least from Garp's angle of things, you can see how much he changed in his older years, and how much he kind of started to embrace the idea of training the next generation of Marines. How much he truly in his elder years, he started to truly believe that he does need to pass on his teachings, what he knows to basically as many Marines as he possibly can. I think what a lot of what he did to train, I think he realized, this is the starting point of where we would see him end up when Rafisuka introduced him, and when he finally decided to take on Helmeppo and Kobe as trainees as well. So it's I think we're seeing a lot of those elements kind of start to come into play, start to kind of connect and whatnot with who Garp was as a character. With that said, though, let's address the elephant in the room with this chapter, which is to say the chapter ends with both Garp and Kuzan knocking each other out, and taking advantage of the situation, Avalo Pizarro makes his move, bearing down on the Marines, but especially aiming for Garp, with Garp's final line of the chapter being, "Kobe, don't panic, justice will prevail." And honestly, I don't know what to think about this final moment, because on one hand, it does feel like Oda is setting all the pieces in place for this to be Garp's final stand, and that next chapter will be his final moments before he dies, making the sacrifice to stay behind while everyone else escapes. But by the same token, it also feels like maybe a little bit too premature to kill him yet. If he dies here, it would, don't get me wrong, if he dies here, it definitely would fit with who Garp is in the character and everything we know about him, but something about the timing of this just feels too soon. And then there's that line about saying justice will prevail. Again, I might be reading too much into it, but that to me says Garp has got one more ace up his sleeve before considering the sacrifice play. It's just what that entails where I feel left in the dark, whether that's reinforcements or something else. I don't know. I have to assume it's something where he knows Sengoku's about to pull up with some massive help, massive aid, or massive help or something, because Garp just, from what I remember from reading, like I think it was last chapter or a couple chapters before, when we see like from Garp first leave, obviously Sengoku was trying to stop him, but knowing Garp he couldn't, and I bet Sengoku's probably kind of has got a plan in place now to kind of come help aid Garp, probably, because when you get down to it, Garp just kind of, because even if he didn't say anything, I think Garp just kind of trusts like Sengoku that much to act in response to his impulsive behavior. The only possibility is, but that kind of just leads to what it is that Sengoku's response is going to be to this, because it's just going to be like marine reinforcements, or is it going to be something more? Because the only other thing I can think of outside of just plain reinforcements is a full-on Buster Call is about to pull up to destroy Pirate Island, because Garp did say that if things go south, they should leave him behind. So maybe that was his way of saying he's planning to go down with the island. But again, that's really just an assumption. I don't know what Oda's got planned with this setup, honestly. But the Buster Call idea is the least likely scenario I'm betting on happening. But it's like I still think, I don't know. It's like I don't want to believe. It's one of those things where I'm really torn, because on one hand I don't think Garp is gonna die, but at the same time that all the pieces are in place to kind of make it happen as well. I just don't know which direction that Oda is gonna go with this, honestly. But that said, though, one thing has been made clear to me with this chapter, which is regardless of whatever happens from here, Pirate Island is gonna be an absolute shambles. Like, whatever purpose this island served Blackbeard before, I doubt it'll serve much purpose to him now that the Navy is likely to know about it in the aftermath of this. But given what we know about where he is now, I don't know if the island matters all that much to him anymore. I think the only thing that will legitimately throw off any future plans Blackbeard has is if this incursion actively affects his like fleet of the giant fleet he's amassed in any way, which, again, being realistic, I think Garp and the others have only made a small dent in those numbers at this point, if at all. And I think Garp knows that he knows that how this probably has to end. I think he was just, like, ultimately, Garp was just here to make sure he got Kobe out safely, and now that he more or less has it's just about making sure that Kobe and everyone else gets out of here, which, honestly, the more I think about it, the more I think Garp kind of has to die now, because this could actually this moment right here could potentially serve as a major turning point for Kobe's character, where he makes the biggest change towards becoming the Marine he wants to become, and Garp's death would kind of push him the furthest towards where Kobe's character needs to be. So I think in that respect there's maybe more of a chance than I thought of it happening. It's just a matter of, like, okay, how's this all gonna play out, though? I guess is my question about it. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Analyst, Crunchyroll. Be sure to notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just shove it around, guys. Dark Knight of Night signing off. Later, everyone.